Welcome back to Casuals Corner, and today I'm going to be having a look at the roller coaster of emotions that was UFC 267. And you know where we're going to start. The star of the show, let's be honest. He stole all the attention, he stole all the media, he stole all the press. Khamzat Borz Chimaev. Now, before we get into this absolute absurdity, you know what to do. Hit the like, the subscribe, and the little bell icon to stay up to date with our content. And if you don't know what we do, we bring you MMA from the UK, daily content on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, we're there. So let's have a look here. Let's have a look at it. Now, I don't want to be all mystic Mac about it, but I saw this happening from a mile off. Another way I can see is the Leech getting his neck wrapped. He's been susceptible to a rear naked choke, which is on his card, and I think the only time he's been stopped. A lot of it's gone to decisions, and that's what's making me think this one is not. He's got a rear naked choke loss on his card, like I said, and Chimaev wraps a neck. That man wraps necks and cashes checks. That should be tattooed onto his head. He is a savage. If you like him or not, if you like his personality or not, he does that. He's got a very good DAS. He's got a guillotine. He's got some rear naked chokes on his record. He snatches necks, and I think he's going to cash this check as well. So my money's... Now I've managed to get that in pretty early. Let's actually have a look at it. He came in so excited, so energetic, and although he has this intensity to him when he speaks and when he's just in press conferences, whatever it may be, interviews, he didn't really have that intensity. He just had this joyful look, which was almost terrifying, because it just looked like he didn't really want to be anywhere else but there, and he was buzzing to get back to where he left off. And if you don't know what happened and you haven't been on your phone in the last 5 minutes, the bell goes and there was a couple of fakes thrown, and I was thinking just in my head, what's going to go first? First of all, I thought he was going to throw a flying knee. I'm going to be honest, I thought that was going to happen. Then I was like, what's going to happen first? Are we going to see a double leg? Are we going to see a right hand? Double leg. Perfect transition, perfect level change, takes him down, then holds onto a body lock, picks him up, walks him across the cage. This is the Leech. The Leech. The clue is in the name, and he is a strong, durable customer. A black belt jiu-jitsu practitioner, a savage on the feet, and above all else, a fucking savage. A savage. He picks him up, walks him over to Dana, starts giving it to the boss, slams him, and submits him. When have we seen anything like that before? When have we seen anything like Khamzat Chimaev before? And this is why I was so excited recently just to see him again, because people were saying, oh, can he answer this question and can he answer that question? All due respect, I know Li Jingliang is a very good fighter, but there are levels to this game, and the Leech is not on this level, and I don't think a lot of people are on this level, and that's why I said recently, hot take, I think he's going to be a problem for the middleweight division. Can you dispute that? And a lot of people are going to say, well, this was at welterweight and he's not the top guy, and there are still going to always be people that make that conversation, but can you sit there in your heart of hearts and tell me he's not a problem to Israel Adesanya? I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can. And I didn't come up with that statement out of nowhere, and all of the excitement I've got over Khamzat Chimaev is mainly actually through, if we exclude the UFC, if we just imagine he hadn't even fought in the UFC and he would be 5-0, 6-0, still an exciting prospect because he's quite charismatic. If I just looked at his fights, it wouldn't be the thing that excited me the most. Obviously they're incredible, but you see a lot of incredible things on the regional circuit, and then sometimes people go to that next level and then it's a different kettle of fish. So sometimes it's hard to gauge, and that's why there's always questions. But it weren't the footage. It was listening to training partners. It was listening to coaches. It was listening to people that had trained with him. And then on top of that, knowing his pedigree, knowing his wrestling pedigree. It's a recipe for absolute disaster. I said on the video that I'd done before the fight, I said, he's going in there with Gustafsson and ragdolling him. Gustafsson. He was meant to be fighting Paul Craig about 2 weeks ago. It's ridiculous. Who, by the way, let's get a bit of MMA maths going. Tapped out Ankalaev via triangle. Not much shame in it, but Ankalaev looks a beast as well. I think he's a problem. I think we have a real problem on our hands. Now, let's actually have a look at some stats because they are obscene. They are crazy. In 4 UFC fights, he has absorbed 1 shot. 1 shot. 1 shot. That's what? An hour? That's an hour of potential fighting. So, yeah, an hour of potential fighting, and he's absorbed 1 shot. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. This is not a hype train. This is just, I personally believe, somewhat of a generational talent. I thought this a while ago, and a couple of people said I was a little bit crazy. I genuinely do think he's a bit of a generational talent. Can you not see the similarities with McGregor? And this goes on to my next point of, if I'm sitting at home and I'm Conor McGregor right now, I might be pouring another little glass or big glass of proper 12 and putting my phone down and Twitter turning off, because this isn't good for Conor McGregor. And I'm not a hater by any means, and I love Conor McGregor, what he's done for the sport. He's transcended it. The fighter he was at his prime. The way he used to predict fights, the way he was just so in tune with his game. He had this tenacity, this raw hunger. But if you can sit at home and honestly tell me that is Conor McGregor now, you know what I mean? You have to be a little bit honest with yourself sometimes. And that's what I think with Conor McGregor diehards. You just, at some point, you have to be a fan of mixed martial arts and understand people have different points to their career. They have different levels of motivation. They have different levels of competition. They have different levels of lifestyles. And they're not always the same person you love, but you hold on to it dearly, that image. And I think people think that's still going to be Conor McGregor. He was hitting pads and everyone's getting excited. But I'm going to go on record and say he's not coming back to that title. He's not. He's not coming back and holding that title. But there's only one man at the moment, I think, who goes out and predicts his fights. And there's only one man who genuinely has a shot at the double strap. Khamzat Chimaev. I genuinely believe it. I don't care how crazy it sounds, but I was having a conversation with someone a couple of weeks back. Can he beat Usman? And it's someone who watches him quite often, let's put it that way, and said, yeah, 100%. So, sky's the absolute limit. Sky's the limit. Now, the problem the UFC have with him, or the blessing and the curse, number one, the traffic he brings, and number two, how regularly he wants to fight. But he can't fight every other week now because he's a global superstar, let's be honest. He's already surpassed Usman's followers on Instagram, which, let's be honest, is a metric for stardom these days. Quite literally is draw a parallel between them. And the traffic he does, Dana White said, in 24 minutes had 1 million views on his weigh-in. 1 million. He's starting to do numbers and metrics like Conor's doing. He's starting to predict fights like Conor's doing. He's starting to do it in emphatic ways like Conor's doing. He's doing outlandish things like Conor's doing. Talking to Dana whilst he's doing it. I don't think Conor McGregor's actually ever done that. Now, I personally believe it's just a matter of time before he starts doing Conor McGregor pay-per-views. I said it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me, am I just going off the recent bias and I'm just high off of yesterday's performance? No, I think if you actually go back 3-4 months, I'm just as excited, to be honest. And I was thinking not even that long ago, because I'm new to the sport, I was always a little bit upset. A little bit of me was a little bit upset I never got to see a Conor McGregor sort of rise. And I think I'm in it. I think I'm in the wave. I think I'm at the start of the wave. So let me know your thoughts below. Am I crazy, or do you think I've got a point? And as always, you know what to do. Hit the like, the subscribe, and a little bell icon. Peace.